this way, and you're just pulling it.
Exactly.
You're trying to pull it to
and
the target.
And that thing goes so fucking far left, I can't even see it.
It just gets worse.
100%.
So, without shoulder turn, nothing that you're
Target
trying to
over
do is
black.
going to work.
Ready? Just going to try it raw with this thing and see if I can get it.
And no matter what happens, you're going fast with this. No slowness.
Right.
Yeah, but that's still play. That's very playable, right?
You think? Did you like the shoulders or no?
I did. I like the shoulders. The one thing I'm going to tell you to be more aware of from the top with that great shoulder turn is throwing the club face.
Throwing it. Keep going.
Throwing the club face.
Yep.
This is what it will look like. Now, this is not throwing the club face, bringing it to the ball. Okay. Throwing the club face is, you see how I'm throwing
like the skipping rock.
It's the skipping rock thing. But just think of it, Ross, as the face. Like that trick. Because you release the face. You turned your shoulders and you release the face. Now come on, that does not sound like we're splitting the attic.
No.
But it's counterintuitive because where golfers want to go is not there. They like creating this other linear stuff. That was awesome. Turn your shoulders and throw the face.
That's been right.
Sure.
That's not as
That's
bad.
pulling the handle.
Okay. Versus
throwing the face. If you were teaching your kid how to hammer a nail, and he showed up and he kept doing this, what would you tell him?
hit the nail.
Exactly, hit the nail.
Hit the nail.
Hit the nail. So, 100% that's what I tell him. So if I tell you, throw the head of the hammer and hit the damn ball. Don't do what feels powerful per se. Feel that releasing mechanism. Thank you. Because now it becomes a movement of athleticism. But I don't know, for whatever reason, players don't like to release the club face. They want to pull on this thing. How do you know you're releasing it at the right time? Again, too early, it's behind my feet. Too late, it's past my feet. Between my feet is the right time. Because you got margin of error for this. That's why make your practice swings purposeful. Listen for that whoosh and where it's at. That's outstanding. But I'll be honest, Ross, the shoulder turn sets you up for success. Because shoulders move arms. Arms don't move shoulders.
That's the key for me.
It is, for you specifically.
100%.
People are like, oh, you want me to turn my chest? You want me to turn my rib cage? No, I didn't say to turn your chest.
So we've got the
Shoulders.
right
Now,
scapula.
your shoulders can technically only go this far. Don't worry about it. You'll just do it. But you've got to load that scapula first. Yeah, your feet slip and you flushed it right down the middle.
Yeah.
Again, you know how I love my analogy.
You do.
What if I was teaching you boxing and you were just taking your elbow back? You don't have any power. You load that scapula, you got something to offer, don't you? You just move this arm.
Just as you know that my right scapula it's not natural.
No, you have to train it.
And I do. I got to start focusing right on it.
Well, just by the fact that you've been practicing your right arm throwing has educated you. I think, especially some of my better players, when I tell them to throw the face, they're just terrified.
No.
This is actually the anti-flip. Lesser players, I'll do this with them. I'll go you, me, you,
too. Yeah.
Where's my speed coming from? It's because I'm whipping the tip of this thing as fast as I can. Which, I don't even focus on the handle. I don't need to. My brain knows the handle has to go first, so I don't even think about it. I am trying to whip that face around as fast as I can.
But for me, it starts with that scapula.
It totally, because without the scapula, you're in trouble. You don't have anything to unload. So, if you don't do the scapula first and you start moving other shit, you skip it. It just doesn't happen.
So it's the scapula starts everything.
The scapula starts everything. It can only go so far. It doesn't move very far.
Is that too much whipping? Too much hands coming up?
It's all about the backswing. You're trying to move your scap, and you are, but then you add this other shit to it. So if I only move my scap, see how I would maintain the integrity of all this under it? It gets to fold, Ross, after there. But that takeaway.
Don't fake it.
Don't fake it. Exactly. Just let it all move in one piece until the scap can't go any further. Yes, that was fantastic. I didn't like the release as well there, but I love the backswing. I do think you're getting a little straight-legged at a dress. And again, I don't want you to flex up here, but I do want you to feel like you're giving me a little bit of ankle flex. So like that feeling that your shins are up against your ski boots. Just a little. Yeah, just perfect. Can you feel that, Ross? Just a little bit of bounce. We got to make sure we maintain that connection to the ground. I felt like the scapula were not moving off the ball there. Something was moving, but it wasn't your shoulders. Exaggerate it. Really try to pull that right shoulder. Like, literally feel like you're going to pull it behind your right ear. That's how we create power. I love that visual too, by the way.
Which is,
so if you're looking at me from this angle here, if I did what I see players do all the time, watch how far my right shoulder moves. Now I'm going to move it like a pro, and watch it pop out over here on the other side of my head. Isn't that a massively different look?
Yep.
And I would argue the club didn't move any different. The club
so you want me to stick that right scapula behind
you. Hold it back as far as you can. The only thing I'm fearful with this is the one thing you can't do, Russ, is you can't shrug it. So you gotta drop it down on top of the rib cage and pull it behind you as far as you can while keeping it down. That looks great. You're already set up for success. It's okay. That's good. Does that feel different?
A little bit.
Well, what it does is it stops the player from wanting to lift their hands and arms independently of the body, because the shoulder takes.
I do like the fact that I like to start with the scapula idea.
Exactly. And we can't worry about what happens after that. It's not really the point.
Like that.
One of the things you can do to
work on it
and help you feel this is the left arm causes a lot of conflict. So you flip your club over, like this, hold your left arm out.
This we worked on this underneath.
Exactly. Now, really pay attention when you take it back now to just retracting that scapula. See, that's a giant shoulder turn. People don't think it's a giant shoulder turn because they think they're going to move the whole body. No, it's an optical illusion. Look at how far that shoulder turn. See how much space I got?
It's really just a scapula going, right scapula going.
Oh, it is just right scapula going back.
Try it again. That's the best part. I can't get a better part.
Because you literally did exactly what your coach said, and you pulled your scapula. There's a kid on tour that does this as good as I've ever seen before. His name's Jake, man. And he looks like he's barely swinging, and he's hitting it like 350. Because he's so flexible and stuff in something, and he is just pulling that scapula back as far as he can, and then he's throwing that club face around, and it's an effortless feeling that takes.
I like it better than thinking left under the chin.
It's way better than
Much better. I don't think about that.
Because your shoulders, Ross, are actually independent, and your left is working fine. It was your right that wasn't working. Good miss.
I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to say. Good miss. Powerful miss.
I'm always big on saying, well, what are the things that would sabotage? What would sabotage this easy feeling of pulling my right scapula back? Well,
maybe you should.
Pushing my hands would sabotage that.
That's good. That's a dead move for me, as we know.
Picking my arms up would sabotage that. Turning my entire body would sabotage it.
Yeah.
So turning my entire body is going to sabotage that. So what you want is you want a little pressure in your right foot, so you want to brace your right leg. There's no body rotation in the takeaway.
Right.
There's shoulder movement. Now, if you want to call that rotation, fine. I don't think it is. I don't consider.
For me, it's a right shoulder movement.
It's completely a right shoulder.
Right scapula movement.
Exactly. Yeah, because the shoulder itself will move, but it's been designed to move from right there. That's what makes it so simple and repeatable. Is you only have one place.
One thing to think about. That was weird. What was that?
Weird. That a lot too many things moved right off the bat. This is why those guys, the shop T's and the JTs and stuff, they're constantly rehearsing this move. Now, the scapula can only take it back. So I don't want any rehearsal swings that go, but can you feel that it's the shoulder blade retraction that takes the club to go? Now you can move that club independently a lot of different ways, but there's only one good one. That was outstanding. That was so good, Ross. And so the proof is really in the pudding right there, in the fact that, So, listen, the other thing that could self-sabotage this is going to sound obvious, but you got to be aware of it, is tension.
My biggest issue.
So, tension across the chest or something. That is literally what's the definition of power, effortless power. Because how much effort does it take to retract your scapula?
It doesn't. And that's all we're doing.
That's all we do.
Everything else follows.
Everything else follows. It just sets seconds right up. That one got a little bit, the arms got a little involved. It did. A little early. No. Again, that's
early in
why,
the backswing.
Early in the, 100%. I think you need to be more emphatic with that move. Meaning don't try to do it like slow. It won't look fast. It'll feel faster to you.
Right.
But if you give yourself time, like if you try to do this slow, there's so much time for bad stuff to kick in. But if I pull that scapula back with some,
we're still going.
with some energy, then I can't screw it up. Don't be afraid of
Move it the scap back with some energy.
Exactly. Move it back with some focus, some emphasis. We missed that.
seems to screw up my transition a bit.
Well, one of the things that tends to happen when you add extra stuff to the scapular retraction, when you start adding club and arm movement, is it doesn't feel bad here, but so if I'm moving this and I turn my scapula, it adds so much momentum I can't stop it.
Right.
So trusting that, okay,
That's it.
just moving my scap and just feeling like everything else is just kind of following along. Yeah, that's it. Now that's getting a little shruggy.
Okay.
So we got make sure it doesn't shrug upwards. Not quite as whippy with the face,
Which is what we want. That's how you.
but that's okay. You still hit it good. I still think it's helpful, Ross, if you think about that whoosh. You know, the whoosh at the bottom. Yep, anywhere between your feet, because that's your release. Close, very close.
At least it's not horribly left.
It's not.
That's playable. Still.
So give me one here where same back, always the same back turn. So always the same. Okay. I want you to try to whip that club head as fast as you physically can.
Okay.
I mean, I want you to go full Bryson DeChambeau. How fast can you snap that club head through the ball? No regard, Ross, for where the ball goes. You're just going full DeChambeau. Anything bad happen?
No, that was a little pop up. I mean,
No, I don't know. I think you had an extra 10 miles an hour speed, and I think that's why they went higher.
interesting.
I think you just bombed that.
Okay.
I think you're not used to seeing that trajectory, and I think that was fantastic. I want speed. Why wouldn't we hold back? Not for speed.
That's different. That one I hit.
You crushed it. Exactly. So the shoulder rotation sets you up for success. Then your ability to crack the whip at the right spot.
Crack the whip.
Yeah, it's cracking the whip.
Right? That's really what it is.
That's all it is. Your hands actually decelerate so the club head can accelerate. But you just think of it as cracking in the whip. You don't need to break that down into too much detail. One thing I do think, I love seeing that hot take quick. I feel like you're trying to keep this arm too straight.
Okay.
So when you
Let it bend up.
when you retract your shoulders and you try to keep that arm straight, it gets about right here and wants to shrug.
Yep.
So it's really important when you're doing that shoulder blade retraction. You're not trying to do anything forceful to it. Just don't fight the fact that it wants to break. It wants to break this way. You're not trying to do that. Just don't try to keep it so straight.
Okay.
Yes. So what we're saying is don't try to force it out here. That's the same reason I don't like the left arm straight.
Good.
So, because I love your setup. We talked about this, but I like the way you got your arm in this position. And so as you're retracting that shoulder,
Let the arm bend.
just let it naturally bend. You don't have to try to bend it, but don't fight the fact that it wants to fold a little bit. Because if it doesn't fold, the right shoulder will start
Like that?
to shrug. Exactly like that, yes.
I'm trying to fold the right arm.
Yeah, something's making that shoulder get a little bit shruggy. I think it might be your setup. Just raise those shoulders up. Exactly. Drop them down. You almost want to feel like you're using your back muscles to pull your shoulders down, because they cannot. If they lift off your rib cage, we got a problem. there. See, I like that. I almost think that the reason I'm seeing that your arms try to stay too straight, this is very subtle. I don't think, obviously, you don't feel it, but you're pushing your arms across. Again. Yeah, I don't think you mean to, but I'm almost positive that's what's happening. What if I said to pull your, as you pull your shoulder blade back, you essentially just feel like your arms stay in front of you. Yes, but you got to keep turning your shoulder. Don't stop turning. Like that. I know it doesn't seem like much. That was great. This is the old move where you would want to move it.
Same thing.
If that creeps in there, it throws
Kill it.
It throws everything into. It throws it all off.
When you hear everyone talk about don't lift the club, right? So I'm trying to avoid that. You know what I'm saying, or no?
I don't like that term. You absolutely lift the club.